Welcome back. Today is all about the flow drill. Now, the flow drill is comfortably, in my mind, the best drill in golf. And not because it's a technical drill, but quite the opposite. It is the opposite of technical. It gets you away from all those kind of clunky ideas and gets you moving freely and fluidly and kind of liberates you to feel that kind of athletic fluid motion that you may have felt in other sports. Now, you know, when I was a young kind of playing professional, I was playing on the Euro Pro Tour. Things weren't working out for me, and I went to see a new coach. And this coach watched me hit, I don't know, half a dozen balls, and before he said anything about my swing, he said, "Noel, you couldn't be this bad if you tried." And you know what? I wasn't at all deflated. I knew exactly what he meant. I was so bound up by swing thoughts and ideas, you know. And I was athletic as only a few years before that, you know, before golf. But somehow my golf swing was slow and clunky and really not working. He then carried on, and for the rest of our really kind of healthy relationship, called me rigor mortis russo. I mean, that's mean, isn't it? That's how stiff and controlling my swing had become. And then later on in my kind of journey to become the best coach I could, I found this drill, and this drill is brilliant. And only then did I start to kind of realize that kind of athletic sporting ability and kind of bring it into my golf. And today I'm going to take you through that exact same drill, and I promise you, you're going to love it. The drill I found so liberating in my game. I took it to tournaments, and I even spent the next 8 years researching it as my PhD. So when I say this is my favourite drill, you know, I am not kidding. Okay, then let's get started on the drill. It's called the flow drill, and it's a really important drill for me. And I kind of learnt it through working with a coaching academy. As a young coach, you learn very quickly that, you know, as you're working with players, you are kind of loading them with more and more ideas, and inevitably, you know, as you go through your day, some players are going to get overloaded. Some people will already have lots of ideas that they come with, or just through the things that you try, it kind of builds up, doesn't it? So this is just a brilliant drill to kind of hit the reset button and go back to default mode and be able to play without thinking. How does the drill work? So we know it's called the flow drill, and you'll see immediately I'm kind of standing in the middle of I'm not standing on the mat like I normally would do. I'm kind of off the mat because a lot of what we do in this drill happens over here, not here, and that's a really important part of the exercise. The exercise is at its core about being able to swing without thinking. So, you know, in the research world, that's called automaticity. So that all the processing happens very automatically in the same way that you would throw and catch and run. You know, imagine what it's like to run downstairs to maybe grab the phone or answer the doorbell. If you thought about where you place your feet, you'd fall over in a heartbeat, wouldn't you? But we don't. We kind of unconsciously process all this information, and the body self-organizes itself, and that's the kind of skills that we're trying to tap into here. So the exercise is, at its heart, about not thinking about your swing and trusting it, and see if we can find some real kind of flow and sporting prowess. So the way it works is we don't stand over the ball. We definitely don't be standing over the ball thinking and doing practice swings. What we do is we stand behind. So I would stand behind back here, and I would want to do as much as I can behind the ball before I start. And at this point, bear in mind, it's just a range drill. We can take it to the course later. There is a progression here. But at this point, all we're doing is we're standing behind, and we're just going to be playful with this. And that's really important. This whole thing needs to be with a playful attitude of exploring and discovery. Don't expect too much. Okay, so hands on, get the club face and grip right. Have a look where you're going. And the rules of the drill are this. Once you've placed your first foot forwards, you are going to keep walking, plant the club, and the moment the club hits the floor, I want you to go. So it's almost as if you're kind of stepping on a tramolator, and then there's this continuous kind of flow of motion. It's not Happy Gilmore, but it is a little bit like Happy Gilmore. Okay, so how would that look? So hands on, walk in, plant the club, go. Okay, pretty flowing. Now, as you go through the next few shots, the aim is, can you make the flow of your swing feel as fluid and kind of rhythmical as the walk in? So, what we don't want to be doing is kind of rushing in, stopping, thinking, starting again. It's got to be continuous. So the walk in is at a fair pace, but not hurried. Find a rhythm to it, put the club down, go. Okay, let's try that again. I think I can be a bit more fluid. Maybe I'll just walk in a little bit slower this time. Club down, go. Now you will be tempted when you do this drill to kind of stand there and go through your normal checklist. Just catch this if you notice this happening. You'll be thinking, oh, the ball's not in the right place. Are my feet in the right place? And then there'll be this urge to go through your automatic checklist of, to do things, that shopping list of swing thoughts that you would normally go through. And in there will be a lot of anxiety, I would imagine, as well. So that's the bit we want to kind of cut through. So let's not do that. Let's just really, really commit to, initially, club down and go. That one was a bit shanky, but you know what? I'm just going to go with it. Let's try again. If there's only one exercise that you try from all of my drills and exercises on the channel, then this would be it. As I say, it's non-technical and can completely connect you with your sporting ability. And if you enjoy the video and you're new to the channel, then please click subscribe and the bell icon, and I'll produce more videos like this every week. There's also a downloadable practice notes in the description below, and that will help you kind of take it to the range and be able to take what we do today and bring it into your golf. Now, at no point in that exercise was I concerned about the motion of my legs and where the club points at the top. And you know what? They probably weren't great. I was probably slightly sloppy in those motions, but because I was clear in my intentions and my mind was relatively clear, I was able to put together a really fluid swing and hit some lovely shots. Now, as I said in the introduction piece, that drill was so important to me, I actually started to play professional tournaments with it. I would literally walk in, plant my feet and hit it. And the reason being, I could properly choke as a young professional. I could shoot. In fact, I did in one particularly bad occasion. I remember shooting 69 in a practice round. The next 2 days, I shot 92, 94. I mean, that's just not, just a bad performance. That is off the scale, dreadful, isn't it? A complete choke. So, utterly distraught. I played the next day, and sure enough, back to level par, back at my own course. 69, 2 scores in the 90s, and then that. And and the main kind of culprit there was over monitoring, and trying to get everything just right, trying to really get the positions right and control my swing. I wish back then I'd have known this drill. So later in my career, I learned that drill, and it has been brilliant. You can use it for putting, for chipping, especially good for tee shots if it's a tight fairway. I've used this drill with tour professionals as well to great effect. So yeah, please give it a try. But I would probably want to change the drill just a little bit to adapt it to be able to use it on the course. So let's refine the drill just that little bit so we can take it to the course. Now, what I would suggest is, we need to get the balance now of being able to be a little bit more kind of composed and comfortable in the motion, but not lose the whole kind of essence of the drill, which is that automatic flow and almost that kind of continuous motion. So this is the way I present it to people. We're going to go through the flow drill, and we're going to change it as much as we need to feel like we would be comfortable using on the course, but change it as little as possible. So, and the golden rule being, the moment the club hits the ground, you must take it away. If there's that moment where you've kind of gone through the flow drill and the club is on the ground and not moving, that is when you're going to be going through the whole checklist of thoughts, the whole shopping list of of anxieties and swing positions. Let's not invite that in. It's club down and it's go. Right. So at this point here, then you would be. Let's say I'm on the course. This is your thinking box, play box. Thinking box. So this is where you kind of do your pre-shot analysis, wind direction, club choice, etc. And you might have a couple of practice swings. So the first practice swing I would suggest would be something mildly technical, getting a basic feel for whatever it is you're working on. For me, it's going to be completing the backswing. So notice that's not especially technical. And then the second practice swing might be a little bit more fluid. So you kind of continue with the motion, less technically driven. Okay, having done that, then you're going to step behind. You're now in shot mode, so you're going to be imagining your ball flight, see it all the way down to it landing, and then once you cross that line from think box to play box, it's full commitment. And as I say, you're going to take a little bit more time, but when that club hits the ground, it's go. How does that work then? If you are working on your swing, you're trying to improve your mechanics, and you're working with a coach. Well, for me, just having that drill would give me confidence to explore those technical, have those technical sessions where we're working on positions, knowing that at any point I've got that drill in my pocket to be able to come back to, be able to hit that reset button and connect with my sporting ability. So, there's a time for technical practice and there's a time for that kind of flow-based practice. But also, one swing thought is not the same as another. Some are clunky and will bound you up in knots and slow your movement down. And some swing thoughts still enable you to have movement accuracy while being connected to the task and have that kind of fluid athletic motion. And that is the science of attentional focus. Where you place your attention in the swing matters, and one swing thought is not the same as another. And that is the topic of the next video down here. So if you're interested, I go through all the science and I'll share with you the best kind of swing thoughts to be able to work on your technique, but also be able to take straight to the course.